In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to change your LLC registered agent step by step, whether you've just started your business or you've had your LLC for a while and you're ready to make a switch. We'll go through the full process together, including what a registered agent actually does, how to file the change with your state, how much it usually costs, how long it takes, and some common mistakes that can delay the process if you're not careful. Now, on the surface, changing your registered agent might seem like a simple update, but depending on your state, it can involve specific forms, filing requirements, and compliance rules that aren't always obvious at first glance. So in this guide, I'm going to break everything down in a way that actually makes sense so you can get it done properly the first time. And if you'd rather avoid dealing with the paperwork and just have it handled for you, I'll also explain why business owners choose to switch to Northwest Registered Agent, especially when they want a more reliable and privacy-focused service. If you want to check them out, I do have a discount link for Northwest Registered Agent in the description and pinned comment below the video. But before we jump into the steps, let's quickly go over what a registered agent actually is and why this role matters so much for your LLC. A registered agent is a person or company that is responsible for receiving official legal documents and government notices on behalf of your LLC. This includes things like service of process, which refers to legal documents in the event of a lawsuit, as well as compliance notices from the state, such as annual report reminders or tax notifications. Every LLC is required to have a registered agent in the state where it is registered, and that registered agent must have a physical address in that state and be available during normal business hours. Now, this might sound like a small administrative detail, but it's actually a very important role because missing a legal notice or compliance deadline can lead to serious consequences, including penalties or even losing good standing with the state. There are several reasons why business owners decide to change their registered agent. In some cases, the current registered agent may no longer be reliable, especially if important documents are not being handled properly or notifications are being missed. In other situations, business owners decide to switch because they want better privacy. If you are currently acting as your own registered agent, your personal address may be listed on public records, which is something many entrepreneurs eventually want to change. Sometimes the decision simply comes down to convenience. As your business grows, you may prefer to have a professional service handle compliance notifications and legal correspondence so that you do not have to worry about staying available during business hours or keeping track of every state requirement. This is one of the reasons many business owners eventually switch to a service like Northwest Registered Agent, since they focus specifically on registered agent services and help ensure that important documents are handled properly. So the first step in changing your registered agent is selecting the new agent that will take over the role. Now, your new registered agent must meet your state's requirements, which typically means having a physical address in the state and being available during standard business hours to receive documents. If you're switching from being your own registered agent from another service, this is where you will decide who will handle that responsibility moving forward. Many entrepreneurs choose to switch to Northwest Registered Agent at this stage because they provide a registered agent address, handle legal mail, and offer support throughout the process. And if you want to check them out, remember I do have a discount link for Northwest Registered Agent in the description and pinned comment below the video. Once you have selected your new registered agent, you can move on to filing the change with your state. Now, the next step is completing the form required by your state to officially change your registered agent. The exact name of this form can vary depending on the state, but it's often called something like a statement of change or change of registered agent form. This form typically requires you to provide your LLC's name, the current registered agent information, and the details of your new registered agent. While this might sound straightforward, this is one of the steps where people sometimes run into issues, especially if they are not familiar with how state forms are structured. Different states have slightly different requirements, and submitting incomplete or incorrect information can delay the process or result in the filing being rejected. Because of that, some business owners prefer to have a service handle this step for them so that they do not have to worry about making mistakes. Once the form is completed, the next step is submitting it to your state's business filing office. In many states, this can be done online, while others may require you to submit the form by mail. There's usually a filing fee associated with this change, although the cost can vary depending on the state. If you're filing the change yourself, you will need to make sure the form is submitted correctly and that the payment is processed properly so the request can be approved without delay. This is another step where some entrepreneurs choose to use a service like Northwest Registered Agent, since they can handle the filing on your behalf and ensure everything is submitted correctly. Now, one of the most common questions people have is how much it costs to change a registered agent. The cost usually includes two main components, which are the state filing fee and the cost of the registered agent service itself. State filing fees for changing a registered agent can range anywhere from around $10 to $50 or more, depending on the state. In addition to that, if you're switching to a professional registered agent service, you will typically pay an annual fee for that service, which is often around $100 per year. While this might seem like an added cost, many business owners see it as worthwhile because it ensures that legal documents are handled properly and compliance requirements are not missed. Another question people often ask is how long it takes for the change to be processed. In many states, if you submit the form online, the change can be processed within a few business days. Some states may process the request often faster, while others may take a bit longer depending on their workload. If you submit the form by mail, the process can take longer since it depends on how quickly the state receives and processes the documents. In general, the timeline is relatively short, but it is still important to make sure the form is completed correctly to avoid delays. When changing your registered agent, there are a few common mistakes that can cause unnecessary delays or complications. One of the most common issues is submitting incomplete or incorrect information on the state form, which can result in the filing being rejected. Another mistake is failing to properly coordinate the transition between the old registered agent and the new one, which can create confusion about where legal documents should be sent. Some business owners also forget to update their records after the change is approved, which can lead to inconsistencies in their business documentation. Taking the time to carefully review the requirements and ensure everything is handled correctly can make the process much smoother. Once your registered agent change has been approved, there are a few things you should do to make sure everything is fully updated. You should confirm that your new registered agent is correctly listed in your state's business records and that they are ready to receive any future legal documents on behalf of your company. It is also a good idea to update any internal records or business documents that reference your registered agent information. If you're using a professional service like Northwest Registered Agent, they will typically handle much of this transition for you and ensure that everything is set up correctly moving forward. And again, if you want to check them out, remember I do have a discount link for Northwest Registered Agent in the description and pinned comment below the video. Now, technically, you can handle the entire process of changing a registered agent yourself by completing the required forms and submitting them to your state. However, for many business owners, the process ends up being more time-consuming than expected, especially when it comes to understanding the specific requirements and making sure everything is filed correctly. Because of that, many entrepreneurs choose to use a service like Northwest Registered Agent, which can handle the filing process, provide registered agent services, and ensure that your business stays compliant with state requirements. Changing your LLC registered agent might seem like a small administrative task, but it is an important part of maintaining your business and ensuring that legal documents are handled properly. By choosing a reliable registered agent and making sure the change is filed correctly, you can avoid potential issues and keep your business in good standing. If you found this guide helpful, make sure to give the video a thumbs up so more business owners can find it. If you want more practical tutorials on managing your LLC and running your business, be sure to subscribe for more guides like this. And if you're ready to switch your registered agent and want a simple way to handle the process, you can check out Northwest Registered Agent using the discount link in the description and pinned comment below the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.